quick Monday night project, folks. For those of you with Nano tanks, maybe some of you have this tank. This is a Fluval 2.6 gallon spec. I love everything about it. I love the way it filters. It's an all-in-one package. Easy to slip a heater in the back. I've gotten great growth out of this. I love the tank. The only thing that I didn't and wasn't really crazy about was the stock LED light it came with, for two reasons. One, it seems to me, this tank's been set up about 6 months, that the lighting intensity, even though it's an LED, isn't as bright as when I first got it. And two, I get a lot of coverage in the middle of the tank, but I don't get a lot of coverage on the sides. And I'm wondering, has that affected any plant growth in the past? I have tried a few different plants in here. I'm rolling now with the Crips that I have in there and the narrow leaf Java Fern. They're lower light plants. But if I wanted to do anything different in the future, can I get a little bit of better plant growth with some lighting? So I went out and bought a Finnex Stingray Clip-On LED. I've heard great things, obviously, about Finnex. They're one of the top companies when it comes to lighting. And this is one of their lower end models. It's one of their LEDs, and it's just a clamp-on, but I want to see if we can see a difference trying that out. So here we go. So pretty easy unboxing. Here's the light itself. Here's your LEDs up on the side, and your on and off switch, which I actually like this. They've got it covered with some plastic in case it gets wet. This is going to clamp on the back of the tank, and then they give you a little plastic screw here in this bag that you can screw it on with. So I'm going to take the top off here and do the install for this light, and we'll see if it makes a difference. So this should be pretty easy. I just set a towel down so that when I take the top off, nothing gets wet. And all I'm going to do is take my screw here, and this is going to be a real easy install. Grab my current light, just take that off, and then clamp on the Finnex. I think there's a spot for it here. I'm going to go diagonal with it, and there's a spot right here that I can clamp it on. Screw this in. 2-second install here, folks. Nope. Famous last words. Had a little issue with the cover of the Fluval Spec. Had to do little arts and crafts, and since I know you don't want to see that and see me fumbling and stumbling around with it, let's move on. Alright, folks, the famous last words. It is an easy install. The problem was the top of the Fluval Spec, this cover here. So if you look at the left-hand side, you can see how it's a little broken off. What I had to do was try to cut it on the left-hand side, and when I was trying to put the Finnex light on, which is on now, it wouldn't fit unless I took this part of the cover and just trimmed it a little bit. So I had to trim that part of the cover. You can see the difference between the two, and if you trim that a little bit, it fits just fine. I didn't really see anywhere else to put it, and I didn't want to remove, if you see the white bracing on the back of the tank, that's where the stock light slides in, and just in case I didn't want to remove that, you can, and you won't have to cut your top cover, but for me, since I wanted to keep that there, I ended up just kind of cutting it a little bit. Now it's installed. Now we'll look at the difference between the lights. Here's the tank with the stock lighting back on it. Here's the tank with the Finnex light on top of it. I do get a little bit more coverage throughout the tank. The lighting is not just centered right in the middle. I'm hitting a little bit of the back. I'm hitting a little bit of the sides of the tank. I'm definitely hitting the middle. Still shot, stock LED on the left, Finnex Stingray on the right. So there you have it, folks. That's the Finnex Stingray. One more quick observation before I sign off, and that's that especially if you have Crips in your tank, if you switch from the stock lighting over to this Finnex light, because of the increased lighting intensity, you're going to see your Crips melt back a little bit. That's okay. It's natural. Crips are sensitive to change. They did all grow back. They got used to the new lighting intensity, and they're just fine. If that happens, especially if you have Crips in the tank and you do switch out your lighting, just note that. They'll get used to the new lighting. Everything will be fine. If you like what I'm sharing, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how I'm doing. Make it a great week, folks.